Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say.
That one's not even showing up in here.
No.
Oh, wait, here it is.
Are you guys there? Is anybody there? Third and final try. If this thing stops this time, I just give up.
We're just going to bed.
Yeah,
We're
because
taking our ball and going home.
I don't even know what to say. This has just been ridiculous. This has been so difficult. I cannot stand the internet and YouTube. They make everything so difficult. I have no idea why YouTube just disconnected our stream last time and then just kept spinning saying we were still live, but apparently we weren't live. I have no idea what that was all about. Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Geeking Poetic Podcast. This has just been so stupid. It's just, I'm Larry.
I'm Megan.
And boy, oh boy. Yeah, we don't know what. I didn't think this whole live stream thing was going to be that difficult. We did our first live stream, man. It went easy peasy. And this one, it is all about the Gremlins, man. I think they're mad because I didn't choose Gremlins as being one of my favorite Christmas movies. Because the Gremlins have got into it. It is just silly.
Yeah, you blew it. Alex was sharing some of his memories.
Did he?
The other one. Alex, you want to have to share those again. Because it's something about your brother and mom. I forgot what it was.
Oh, yeah, we were kind of trying to get everything together. Yeah, I mean, for anybody that's going to... Yeah, it is up there. It's a good one. But yeah, for anybody that's going to watch this later and everything, we apologize for the wonky start. The whole point of this broadcast is that we're going to talk about Christmas memories. Oh, you do have the music.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
For now.
We just have to start this over and over and over again, and each time we'll finally get something to work, and then something else goes wrong, I guess. But we'll hang in there for as long as we can. Yeah, the whole point of this one is we were going to talk about things like old Christmas catalogs. Boy, it's so white you can't even hardly see that. Yeah. There we go.
Jcpenney,
yes,
1984.
Jcpenney 1984 catalogs. So did you have the Jcpenney catalogs when you were a kid? Do you even remember? I know you had Sears.
I want to say we had both, but I think we mostly got to shop out of Sears.
I think that was pretty much the standard.
The norm.
Like Sears, the Sears Wishbook was like the catalog to have. But Jcpenney had some really good stuff too. I do have other ones. Hang on. Talk to them while I pull out more.
Yeah, Alex, you shared something else too. You shared two things that was interesting. Your family tradition that you had, and there was something else. If you want to share those again, because I don't remember what they are from the other one. Montgomery Ward. Oh, yeah, Montgomery Ward. I didn't have any of those in Oklahoma, I don't think. At least not that I was able to ever shop at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Montgomery Ward. Oh, hang on. I got Montgomery Ward. Well, here we go. This one would have been good for you, Meg. This is a 1988. Let's see if I can hold it up there. 1988 Wishbook.
You need to do
Sears.
it like they do in the books where you put it behind there.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yeah.
Makes all the difference.
There you go. So, yeah, we got a Jcpenney 1984. I got a 1988 Wishbook. You and Jess would both like that one, I'm sure.
I'm sure I used this one. But, pinball machine. Oh, never. Just kidding. Apparently.
But speaking of, as they used to call it, monkey wards. Speaking of Montgomery Ward, I have a great one here. It says, "Welcome to a merry Montgomery Ward Christmas." I still have the paper overlay. This is how they used to mail this to you and everything. And this is from 1985. And hang on, I'm going to carefully. It's already kind of tore up. So, but carefully pull it off. And then you can see, look at that. Look at all that toy goodness on there. We got He-Man, we got Care Bears, we got, what are those things called? Wuzzles? Something like that. We got Rainbow Bright, Transformers. Yeah, there's also those, what are those crazy looking things called? Those things, I'm sorry, they're kind of ugly. Some of these, here's the thing. 80s had some real weird toys, especially the girls' toys, man. Now I know you guys like a lot of this stuff. No, I mean, like, some of these things are like pretty.
Care Bears. I loved Care
Yeah,
Bears.
Care Bears are okay.
I want to say I had the green one. Maybe my brother had the green one, the lucky guy. And I had the double heart guy.
Gotcha. Oh, that's the double heart. That's Love a Lot.
Love a lot. I love a lot. And then he had the lucky guy. I think.
He had Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I always wanted the penguin on that second page.
Oh, those, yeah, the Care Bear cousins.
Yeah.
Is it everybody?
Maybe I had the penguin. I don't remember.
Everybody's gonna be like, man, Larry knows an awful lot about Care Bears. What's that all about? I know a lot about toys in general, folks.
Yeah.
I'm just the toy aficionado. Alex is telling us a lot of stuff. I want to see what he's got to say.
Yeah, these are his stories he was saying.
Yes. So my big holiday tradition was sitting with my mom and brother and read 3 picture books together. 'Twas the night before Christmas, Eloise at Christmas time, and the Polar Express. Oh, neat. That's pretty cool. The other thing I shared was I remember toy catalogs, specifically lusting after the go-karts and mini bikes. I can totally see you, Alex, being into like the mini bikes and go-karts, because now I know how you are about your expensive fancy cars and stuff. And so that what it just says.
You're getting yelled at by the Hugaboos.
The Hug-a-Bunch.
Hug-a-Bunch.
I was talking about the Hug-a-Bunch. Those things are fucking weird looking. I'm sorry, and you know it. Wait, just wait. Just wait. Just wait till they're in here. So that was a thing, was like every Christmas, man, there's a lot of Care Bear stuff.
Yeah.
Every Christmas time, usually roughly like around October, I think, September, October. Maybe if somebody remembers out there, they can correct me on that. These catalogs would start to ship out to homes, because you had to get like a pretty good jump on ordering some of this stuff. Oh man, Mask. Any of you guys, I'm sure some of you guys remember. Do you guys remember Mask? I think this was the first year that Mask toys came out, or maybe it was 84, 85. These things were super cool.
Those nightgowns.
Oh,
somebody of those nightgowns with the corner, the top little part cut out. Is so uncomfortable. Hated those things, and they like made you sweat, and ugh. So glad that's not a thing anymore.
October, yeah, it was roughly about October these things would ship out there and everything. And I can remember sitting at my grandmother's house, eagerly thumbing through these things, trying to figure out what it was I was going to get. My grandmother, on my mom's side, my grandmother was she was not able, she had polio. And so she was not able to go out shopping and stuff. So for her, these catalogs were like really important. This was how she did her shopping. So she and I would just sit there for hours looking through these catalogs and figuring out mostly what I wanted, because I was spoiled. But, kind of figuring out for everybody. Oh yeah, I think this was also the first year that we got Princess of Power. That's a pretty serious spread of toys there. You notice I said spread of toys, because I knew if I just said spread, it'd be like, oh, Princess of Power, the spread. What do you got? The 88 one there?
I got the 88 one. I'm looking at all the board games. I love my board games.
Yeah, we do love board games.
Looks like there's that Master Detective. It's actually Clue.
Oh, I have that.
Do you really?
Yeah, I have it. There? It's right over there somewhere.
Oh, I'm taking that home.
Oh yeah, we need to play that sometime.
Yeah, hell yeah, we do.
So that was one thing, and maybe you guys can tell us that what's he say? Are there any Dune toys in there? I don't think they had any Dune. No, wait. Actually, I do think they had Dune toys. I forgot that they did. I think they did make a little bit of Dune toys. I never had any of those. Those came, like I said, 84 was like right at the end of my toy time. But these what are we gonna ask? What's up?
He was showered Star Wars gifts because his aunt worked at Target or
Kmart. Oh man.
I would jealous.
Yeah, I would have fucking lost my shit. But yeah, we've been talking about doing like a board game, like calling it Board Geeks or something, where we do something like this, provided the actual, with you guys. Provided the stream actually fucking works. But like having and like sitting here and like playing different like board games and talking with you guys while we play, and probably more than likely watching Meg kick my ass at them. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what usually happens anyway.
They did, wasn't huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
he still has them all?
Oh man. Really? Wow.
Nice.
Shit, those are fucking awesome, man. Yeah, see, that's the thing for me is like the 80s were kind of, when it comes to toys, 80s were kind of weird because obviously I went through junior high school, and I was always still kind of interested in toys, but I wasn't buying them or anything. So I missed out on a whole bunch of like really iconic cool toys. Like I didn't buy like Dune. I didn't buy the real Ghostbusters toys that everybody loves.
Oh.
I missed out on DC Superpowers because again, that was like right after a lot of stuff now that I'm like, oh, those toys are fucking awesome. But at the time, I wasn't into. I
Too
didn't.
old and too cool.
Yeah, I thought. But I didn't start. I got back into toys again right around 1990, 89, 90. I started when Toy Biz started coming out with the DC superheroes and the Marvel superheroes little figures and the X-Men figures right around when the X-Men cartoon came out and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so it's cool for me to see these catalogs. Like I said, this is more like your generation, you and Jason and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, these little teeny tiny books. I'm sorry. I know it keeps focusing in and out to look at it. But these little books, there's like little pocket books, but they're pretty thick. I think I still have a bunch of those.
Let me see. Which
These
ones
guys.
are these? Oh, I have those.
You have those too?
I do have those. Yes.
I always loved those. They were so fun.
Yeah. They were, Heidi and Little Women, Black Beauty and all that. I have those in a bag somewhere along with
your Hardy Boys.
These Hardy Boys books. Yep,
My
I
mom
have
has
those.
the Hardy Boys too. She loved those things.
Yeah, I had a couple of Nancy Drew, but I mostly had Hardy Boys. Those were cool. I would love getting books and stuff for Christmas as well as toys. It's good to mix it up. Look at this spread. He-Man. Dude. Oh, so awesome.
I was talking to my mom because I cannot remember for the life of me requesting anything specific. Like, I want this. I have to have this specific thing.
Okay.
And I think I just was, I want a Care Bear. I want a Barbie. I want a bike. I was like, I don't care what it is. I just want in general that. It could even be in like not a Barbie brand name, but off brand.
Right.
I didn't care.
That's interesting. What is it? I used to get Family Circus books. Oh, Family Circus was awesome. Did you ever read those from the Sunday comics? Family Circus? Yeah, those were great. I love those books. Yeah, I mean, I still get books for Christmas all the time. But I especially like the cartoon books and stuff, the comic book strip stuff. I got a lot of Snoopy Peanuts books back in the 80s, early 80s. As I got older, I started to understand some of the humor because it was always a little bit, not naughty adult, obviously, but just referencing stuff that I
kind of like how Shrek and stuff does.
Like, yeah. No, not
something
even something
for
like
the
that.
adults to enjoy.
Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah. See, that's I got all the Calvin and Hobbes books. Then when I was in my late teens, early 20s and stuff, I got every the Far Side comics. I love those. I still laugh at those, but those are great, man.
Going back to what Alex was saying about reading the 3 books at Christmas and stuff like that. Me, Jess, and Chastity actually this year started, hopefully it becomes a tradition, girls, that we bought each other books to read on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
We stay in and that night and read our books.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, because it's some other Sweden or somewhere. It's their tradition to give somebody a book at Christmas Eve.
Oh, one of those countries where people are probably like
don't have TVs and stuff.
Yeah, I think they have TVs, but they're just a little more cultured than a lot of us are, probably. I'm sure.
Oh, that's so funny. You never got books for Christmas, Jess?
Of all people.
Of all people, seriously.
To not get books. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, no wonder she's so obsessed with them now, right?
Yeah.
Because you didn't get them.
Alex said he can suggest some awesome board games. Yeah, we would love that. We would love to get more suggestions. That's what that's part of why we're so excited about doing this live stream thing. I mean, doing the other videos, which we're going to continue doing. In fact, we're going to have some out within the next week or two. We got a couple of videos in the can that we're going to be releasing soon. But doing this live stream stuff is, the best way to get like direct feedback from you guys. And we definitely want to do something with like board games and even just general gaming. I'm sure people, if any of you saw the video of Vito and Meg and I playing Super Nintendo that came out a couple of years ago, and saw how
Mario
poorly
Kart. That was awesome.
I did at
Where are you
that.
going, Larry? That's not even a road.
I was so mad. We'll probably do more of that kind of stuff. But yeah, what did I say? You got tons of Calvin and Hobbes, Garfield, of course, Far Side, Foxtrot. Yeah, I got like Bloom County and stuff, like Billy and the Boingers, and Opus Crocus, and all those silly. That was a little bit more adult. I started getting those when I was in like college age kind of thing. But I'd be remiss if I didn't show Wuzzles. Look at the Wuzzles. Did you ever see these things? Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do. Kind of.
I wonder if you had a Wuzzle.
The tiger guy looks kind of familiar.
The tiger,
maybe.
the lion bumblebee guy.
Yeah. Oh, Jess was a library girl. She's like Vito. Got everything at the library.
Nobody is like Vito. There is nobody
in that one little way. She's
in
like
that
Vito.
regard, yeah. But there is truly only one Vito. Oh, okay. So I have to show this one because I know for all my dudes out there that are into G.I. Joe and stuff like I am, this was the year, because this is 85. This was the year of the USS Flag.
Now my brother, I know that thing's huge.
Right.
He had something very similar to that, if not that. It may have been an off-brand of it, but it
Could
looked
be.
just like it.
Could be. I mean, because this
But I
thing
don't remember
was,
it being that big.
this thing was 7 feet long. It's still, I think today, it's still like one of the biggest toys, like action figure related toys ever made. But they had other play sets. They had like they had other pretty big play sets if he didn't have this one. Jason, if you watch this, I'd be curious to know what you
remember.
had. Yeah. But oh my gosh. I mean, look at that. Like I said, now by this point, I wasn't buying G.I. Joes anymore. I stopped buying G.I. Joes the previous year because after this, after 84, it was all about buying heavy metal records and t-shirts and guitars and all that kind of stuff. So
oh, Joe wants to see some He-Man figures.
Oh, you missed the He-Man. Oh, dude, yeah. Hang on. There is He-Man in here. I know. And in the other catalogs too. I'm
sure always.
In fact,
I was always big on the Barbie outfits. Like I got the Barbie, now give me a bunch of different outfits. I had all these little like dresses from the South. They're all big and puffy. The prettier the better. I was such a girly girl. I still am a girly girl.
Well, I was just gonna say you're kind of a weird mix because you also had a tendency towards being a little bit of a tomboy
I was
too,
everything. I'm amazing. I'm the all in one package.
Wow. You hear this shit?
Old school WWF figures.
Oh yeah. I wonder, I would love to see it.
I bet Joe would love to see your toy room with all those figures you have back there.
Oh, wrestling figures?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't here before she gets you worked up. So
they're not vintage.
No, I don't have like old vintage ones anymore. I used to have I used to have some of the old LJN ones, and I used to have some of the who put those ones out?
Thank you, Jess. I am well-rounded.
And I used to have some of the ones from the 90s, the ones they just recently started redoing those actually. I think Hasbro or somebody was making those. I ended up getting rid of a lot of those in the late 90s, unfortunately. And some of them I gave them away to my buddy Nick because he's way into wrestling. He's way into wrestling figures, so I traded them off to him. Here's a bunch here, dude. Here's a bunch of this was to me this was like the golden age. Look at that. All those awesome figures. Yeah, and it was great because when you ordered from these catalogs like this, they often would sell them in like sets. And sometimes it was a set of the figures just like carded like normal and just put in a box. But sometimes they were in special packaging, especially like a lot of the G.I. Joes and the Star Wars figures. They would come in special packaging that only you would get through these catalogs. And now those are like really desirable. Oh, man. Yeah. Look at this. There's Castle Grayskull and there's Snake Mountain. And there's Strider. Yeah,
Yeah, look at this page.
Yeah.
Look at that. All of that.
That's the page right there. That's got all the cool shit. I never. My cousins had Castle Grayskull. My cousin John and Jamie. They had. So I got to play with those by proxy. See, that was the other thing. I had younger cousins that were several years younger than me in the 80s. So I would go over there and just to entertain them, I would play with their He-Man figures and stuff with them, you know.
You take it away from them and push them down.
Be like, no, I'm going to be Triclops. Yeah, I'm going to be Triclops and Trapjaw. You could be Stupid Ram Man.
I always love the dressing up. Like, give me all those silly little dress up things. I think this one looks so familiar, Mom. Did I have this one where it can be like multiple things at one time? It could be a Southern Belle or a movie star, a maid of honor.
Oh boy, they got robots. Oh no, they don't just got robots. Now here you go. Now these poor toys were always just the butt of jokes, and I don't agree, because I understand they weren't as fancy and cool as Transformers, but I gotta admit, I fucking dig the GoBots, man. I think GoBots, they are not ghetto Transformers. Don't believe it. GoBots were a lot of fun. And actually, and it's funny because for me, again, because Transformers really came out here in America around 84, 85.
You got 85 there?
And this is 85. So, but GoBots came out a couple years before that. So see, I got in on GoBots and I was all about them. And they used to show I think it was Saturday morning. No, they used to show like a syndicated morning cartoon every day before I'd go to school. I'd watch GoBots and Battle of the Planets. And so I love this stuff. So when Transformers came out, by that point, I was, I was starting to get a little old for it. So I never asked for any of that. But
My Little Ponies.
Uh-oh, My Little Ponies.
I'm so glad those came back. My niece loves those.
Yeah, some of these, and that's what's interesting. That's what's interesting about. Oh, hang on. You got
yes.
Probably. Do you remember the little plastic high heel shoes?
I had to have them.
What were they?
They're like little kids' shoes,
Uh-huh.
but they were plastic high heels when you play dress up. And I always had to have them. So even then I was wearing high heels when I was like 5.
That would explain, because sometimes I know I see you walk in with these heels and I'm like, Jesus, how is she walking around in those things? Like,
I've been practicing for like 35 years.
That's funny.
The plastic jellies.
Oh,
I love those
jellies. Oh boy, don't get. I know some of the women in here, like Jess, and we're gonna be like, jellies. Oh no, the damn jellies and the Cabbage Patch outfits and all that stuff. Dungeons and Dragons figures. Oh, those figures are fucking amazing and really in demand now. Those are great figures. Joe says he's got the He-Man as Funko Pops. Yeah, I've got a bunch of those.
Yeah, Funko Pops, man.
The Funkos are the thing, man. Yeah, I mean, and I've been, the last couple of Christmases, I've been getting Funkos for Christmas a lot and everything.
So they're talking about the original NES systems.
Yes.
So it's something kind of like what you just talked about is my dad got it for us for Christmas. I think Christmas one year.
Okay.
Maybe. But it was really for him. We got to play it with him.
That was my dad.
Always had it.
That was my dad with Atari. He brought home Atari and I was like, you got Atari for me? And my dad was like, yeah, for you. Uh-huh.
So, but every time I played it with him, I forget that they were corded to the thing.
No.
And I would get so excited. I was like jumping around and I constantly ripping that thing out of there. He got so mad at me because I was going to break that thing. Yeah. It wasn't pretty.
So you were a spaz even then.
I was a spaz, yeah.
Yeah.
Not now. I'm totally fine now. It's cool.
You see the stinky raw feet you would get from jellies.
Oh God, yeah. But it was worth it.
Yeah. Playing on the original NES till 4 a.m. on Christmas vacation. Wow. Yeah. See, for me, I didn't get into NES until high school. Was when, I mean, I know it came out a little bit before I was in high school. That came out when I would have been in like junior high. But I never had an NES. I had friends that did. One of my friends in high school, Mike, used to play all the time. And we would play, of course, gosh, I'm trying to remember, Castlevania on there. The first Castlevania. We would play, of course, Mario, Super Mario.
It was always Mario.
Stupid ass Duck Hunt. Zelda.
Spend more time shooting that dumb dog than anything. Shut up! Stop laughing at me.
Does anybody remember the price of an Atari 2600 back then? I don't need to remember the price. I can look it up in a catalog. That's a great question.
Let's look and find out, shall we? I love this paint a swirl. You put it in, it spun the paper around, and then you put the paint in there, and it made all these cool designs. I love that stupid thing.
You know what's funny is, obviously, because it just goes to show like age thing. You know, when I was a kid, I was all about the action figures, of course. You know, I loved action figures and things like Hot Wheels and all that kind of stuff. But now when I'm older and I look through these catalogs and I look at the things that are more like activity like that, like science-y or crafty and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, that's super cool. Like, oh, I wish I would have had that. But then I remember, I'm like, yeah, but when I was like 7, I wouldn't have cared about it.
Action figures.
Well, I had some things like that. I had a pretty cool little chemistry set once I got to be like around 9 or 10.
I remember, Mom, you're on here. Oh, he beat you to it. It's 100. What'd you do? Look it up on the internet?
Yeah, they probably just remember.
Cheating.
Well, you know what? That's fine, because I want to look it up and see if it's in here. It's got to be in here. I want to see. What were you going to ask your mom?
We had one Christmas, you guys got us this, I don't know, it was a game or something where we had to sit on either side of it and we had to shoot like marbles or something, you know what?
Oh, with the marbles.
Maybe.
Oh, I kind of remember that. Yeah.
Shoot it back and forth at each other.
Yeah.
I just don't remember what it was. I just remember we had so much fun with that.
I do remember that now. Okay. Yeah, no, that's not like foosball with the big ball. No, this was this thing like, literally shot out little white marbles. I do remember that. What does he say? There was a functioning nuclear science lab toy from the 60s. I believe it, dude. There was so much shit in the 60s that it was like, how, you know? It's like, here's a toy for Johnny. It only has a little bit of asbestos in it.
It's fine.
You know, here's your bottle of mercury.
Yeah, that rock tumbler was pretty cool too.
Rock tumblers they are really cool.
Or the spirograph, kind of the same thing as the painting thing.
Yeah, spirograph and fashion plates.
Fashion plates, yes.
Fashion plates, and because they had fashion plates, they weren't called fashion plates, but they had fashion plates for boys too, where you could make like really cool like monsters and barbarians and stuff. And me and Dave Lesko, I don't know if Dave's gonna watch this, but that was my friend, you know, from growing up, and we loved those plates, man. Drawing all the time. Optimus Prime, yeah, that's what I said. Transformers. I'm sure we'll get to Transformers in here at some point.
What is he talking about melting down hot plastic and making your own car? That's a toy for kids.
Oh yeah, the little car maker.
That's so dangerous.
No, I know, I know. No, those were really cool. And I think, and then they had the ones you could do that. You could make cars, and then they had like a foil overlay you could kind of melt onto it to give it like the paint design and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there was all kinds of shit like that. Well, speaking of, because we were talking about video games, so Sears.
Oh, you are all wrong.
No, they weren't wrong. So Sears had their own proprietary version of the Atari 2600 called Telegames. And I mean, it was Atari. It was a fucking Atari. I mean, everything about it was Atari. It was licensed by Atari, had all the same games for the most part as Atari, but they like rebranded them. And it was a deal that they had. And at this point in 1980, in the Christmas of 1980, you could get a Sears Atari Telegame set for $155. Now, I believe to get the actual Atari, and especially like the year before when it first came out around 78, actually, now that I think about it, the first Atari console probably came out in late 77. I don't know. People might know more than I do about that because I'm not a video game aficionado. But when Atari first came out, and dude, and even $155 to $200, that was a lot of money back in the late 70s.
Luke said he had Lincoln Logs.
I love Lincoln Logs. Lincoln Logs are great.
It was your mom, Denise.
Oh, mom liked Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys. So I still think those are great. Dude, if you put Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys on this table in front of me right now, I would just play with them for the next few hours because to me, that's just fun.
Isn't that how you met Cole, or was that That was Legos.
That was
wasn't it?
Legos. Yeah. So, friend of mine, a good friend of mine, Nicole, well, friend of all of ours and everything. She's part of the gang. The first time, it wasn't how we met, but the first time we really kind of
She
like
decided you weren't a douchebag.
wow. Yeah, for some reason she thought I was like some rock starry kind of attitude guy, which I really wasn't. I didn't think I was anyway. But in any case, she came out to see a November's Doom show, and we were playing in Milwaukee. And we were playing with you. It was November's Doom and Usurper of all things. Those, pretty brutal show.
There were Legos there.
Okay,
Why
so
was there
here's
even
what.
Legos there in the
So
first
the
place?
show was being put on. It was being promoted by these college students actually that were trying to get into booking like metal bands and indie bands and stuff coming through on tour. And so they booked us to play, and the place they had us play at was like a rec center, right?
Mhm.
And during the day they used this rec center to be a daycare kind of thing for kids.
I always wondered, like, why the fuck was there Legos at a metal concert?
So the part
makes
where they had all that stuff was actually kind of like roped off, from all the stupid metalheads and us, that were there. It was meant to be like, don't go over there. They had a stage set up in the other half of the room with a PA and blah, blah, blah. So, but of course I look over and I'm like, what's all those tables with all them toys over there?
Of course you
You
did.
know? Yeah, because I mean, this wasn't that long ago. When was this? Like 2005 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like when Pale Hunt Departure came out.
Mm.
So I was looking. Yeah, I was pretty old by that point, and I was like, "What's all them toys over there?" And I was like, and then I saw that they just had this table, like a table like this big, with just all these Legos, and we had time to kill. It was still a couple hours or so before we were supposed to play, and I was just like, I'm gonna go play with fucking Legos. So I did. I was sitting there playing with Legos, and then Cole eventually kind of drifted over and was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Playing with Legos," and she was like, "You like?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, and that's when she first really got to know me and was like, "Oh, he's not at all like what I thought he was. He's real goofy." I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I don't even pretend to try and be cool. I'm a fucking dork," So I mean, honestly, when we go on tour or we go and play fests, if I could put on our tour writer, like to a promoter, be like, they're always like, what kind of booze do you want? And all this other shit. And if I could be like, bring me a bucket of some Legos and, like some string cheese and a couple of juices, like I'd be happy. They'd be like, Larry's good till showtime. I'd be totally happy with that. Erector sets, Mego Planet of the Apes Treehouse. Oh man, I never had that. The DeCeros that lived across the alley from me, Danny, who was my age, but he had two older brothers, and they had all the Planet of the Apes stuff. Those things were so fucking cool. Thundercats, yeah, I'm surprised I haven't seen Thundercats in here yet. I'm sure Thundercats has to pop up. Oh, that little basketball set. I remember that thing too. I always loved things like that, or the water thing with the rings when you push the button to make the rings like pop up and everything.
Yeah, this is a bigger. It was a good size thing. So
okay.
What about these? The books with the records and the tapes.
Oh,
I love those things.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
I know you love those too.
Oh,
right?
do you know who you're talking to there? Book and record sets, man. Those were by the 80s. They were still in your time. They were still like they were still
the tapes
definitely around.
mostly, I
Now they
think.
moved to tapes. When I was a kid, when I was little, it was the book and record sets and stuff. Yeah, and I had the GI Joe ones, the old original GI Joe, Adventure Team GI Joe. I had those. I still have them. I have them in mint shape. Of course I do. And I had all the other ones. I had Superhero One, $6 Million Man book and record sets. I have a $6 Million Man record, like the 12-inch one of the record, and I have $6 Million Man toys as well. But I had quite a few of the GI Joe. My mom says, "Yeah, well," and it was down here. The stereo was down in my basement, and my mom would have to put the record on for me, and I would sit at the top of this basement stairs, the infamous basement stairs I've talked about on here before. Yeah, I would sit at the top of the stairs with my book, and I would read along while I listened. She would turn it up loud enough so I could hear it, and then eventually I got my own little record player that I could play them on. But yeah, I'm missing. There's people saying stuff.
I know you guys are going crazy.
VCRs.
I love it.
I'm glad he brought up VCRs.
It's on the back
of one of these. I
these-
thought
this
it
one, I
was it
think.
the 84. Yeah, man. So, oh yeah, here you go. And this was on sale.
Here's some too.
Yeah, here was a VHS player. I don't think this one even record. Oh, maybe
This
it
one's a
recorded.
VHS video recorders.
Okay, that one's a recorder. How much is that going
It
for?
ranges from $290 to $360.
And what year was that? That was 85. Okay, so the previous year. So it was, you could see the prices were starting to go down because the previous year it was going for $399.
Mm.
Now you go back to like 1980 and you look at the VCRs and stuff, and oh my gosh. So the first VCR I ever had was, no surprise, a Betamax. It was a top loader. Yep, exactly.
Top loader.
Top loader Betamax that I had, and we got we got it from Sears, actually. And I wonder if they even have it in here.
Oh, I think this is the one we had.
Which one? Let me see. Panasonic VHS.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see, those were getting cheap.
For $299.
Yeah, $999. Let me tell you, dude, when we got our Betamax, because
Oh wow, wired remote.
oh yeah.
I don't
Well, our first one, our Betamax didn't even have a remote at all. It just had those big stick out, push down buttons on there and everything. And it was super loud. But you know how cool it was back in 1978 to be able to watch movies at your whim? I mean, I still have Betamax tapes that were recorded from back then. And some of that I actually, in fact, I'll give a real quick plug. There is a YouTube channel. If some of you guys haven't seen it before, even if you're not from Chicago, it's still really cool to watch. But even though it's kind of Chicago centric, it's called Fuzzy Memories.
Mm-hmm.
And Fuzzy Memories, their main thing is that they're an actual certified museum of sorts. They're considered a museum by law. So they are verified to be able to preserve old television materials and stuff. When you see there's like some people, if you ever, even if you're from out of town, if you ever watch the WGN channel stuff that's from Chicago and they talk about Bozo and they show like the old Bozo show stuff, they at this time of year they're always showing like a Bozo special from like the 60s and 70s. A lot of that footage on that show is found and provided by Fuzzy Memories, by Rick over there at Fuzzy Memories and stuff. And if you go on the Fuzzy Memories website and you go on their YouTube channel, there are some video clips on there that it's from my Betamax tapes because I donated them to him to upload and everything. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, so yeah, when we first got our Betamax, I believe that thing ran roughly around $1,500. $1,500. And I mean, that was in 1978, which by now I'm not an inflation calculator, but by now that's probably somewhere equivalent to being like around $5,000, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember getting my Walkman.
Oh
Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, Walkmans.
And my first CD player. And I put that in my ears. It's like, don't talk to me the rest of the day. I'm good.
Weren't the tapes super expensive? Yeah, the blank tapes weren't expensive. The blank tapes were affordable, thank goodness. But if you bought movies, you know, you could go into Walmart now and you can buy like a brand new DVD or a Blu-ray, and it's going to be anywhere from $5 to $20, right? If you bought, like, say back in 1979, 1980, when my mom bought me Superman the movie, when it first came out on Betamax and VHS, that would run around $100 to buy that movie.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why we didn't have, I mean, we had a pretty fair amount, but we didn't have like a ton of the store-bought movies. Most of the stuff we had was stuff that we taped off TV and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I had like Superman, I had Grease. We went out and bought Grease. We went out and bought Blazing Saddles, Saturday Night Fever. My mom made sure we had all the John Travolta stuff, all the dancey stuff. What did you find?
I think I got the same place you did.
Okay,
How
and that's
funny is that?
that is really funny, and here's why. Sorry, I keep being eccentric. So we just both opened to the Sears instruments, right? So the cool thing about this is 1980. Now or 1979 actually, this catalog. Now I did not get my first guitar until around 81, 82. But this guitar right here, if I can hold it up, this SG style guitar with the big old butter knife whammy bar on it and everything, this 1960s looking thing, that is exactly my first electric guitar I ever owned. My grandmother ordered it from the Sears catalog and got it for me the first year I was playing guitar. I miss that guitar so much. I mean, it wasn't a particularly, it was a Sears guitar, so it's not like it was a super outstanding guitar, but it was my first guitar. And that was my first guitar. That I had that guitar. I played on that thing for probably 5 years before I finally got a new guitar. And then what's funny about this is because this is 1988, right? So then my same grandmother, I had actually asked her to buy me this guitar because it's very obviously a Sears copy of a BC Rich Bitch guitar. They obviously did not call it that in the Sears catalog. And when she went to order it for me, they were sold out of it. They didn't have it. So she said, "Oh, I'm sorry that I couldn't get you the one you wanted," but she bought me this white one, this Jackson Charvel style one. Now, again, it's a copy. It's not an actual Jackson Charvel, although it was probably made in the same damn factory. But it had like EMG pickups in it. It had a Kahler trem on it. This guitar, this white guitar, was fucking awesome. I loved this guitar.
Really?
It was great. This was a really, really good guitar, man. And I played it for a while. Like even when I first met Willie and I was playing in Bad Omen and all my first thrash bands and stuff, that was the guitar. And I ended up actually trading it off later to a friend of mine. Once I upgraded, I think my mom bought me. I think I traded off when my mom bought me my Gibson Explorer. I was like, well, I don't need this one anymore, and I traded off to my buddy Richie, and he used it for years. He upgraded it and everything, and yeah.
Wow.
So
got a good.
Absolutely, thank you, Grandma. That was a really, really good deal, and it was actually a much better guitar than the stupid BC Rich copy that I had actually asked for originally. So, that was like a real happy accident there, man. I loved that guitar. Yeah, as soon as you opened that up, I looked over. I was like, oh, I know that. And then later, I think a year later, I actually got that Dean guitar. They actually had Dean guitars here in the Sears catalog. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Anyway, so we keep going on and on about all this kind of stuff. What was that white guitar toy called? Larry probably remembers. Something strange to me about you playing a guitar with a trem. Yeah, I know. I'm not a trem guy. I do ironically have right now. I have an LTD 1000. It's actually a really nice guitar that I got because of doing the Seymour Duncan demos and stuff like that. And that has Floyd Rose on it, and it's cool. I'm not used to it. I'm more of a what am I doing?
You're knocking everything over.
Yeah, I'm knocking everything over. I'm more of a string through body kind of guy. But what was that white guitar toy called? Larry probably remembers. Do you remember On TV? Oh, dude, On TV. I talk about that all the time. He's talking about pay television. We used to have pay television here in Chicago that was pre-cable. It was just one channel, but it would be kind of like having HBO or something now. It's the same general idea. But you had this big ass box that would sit on the TV. Yeah, that was back in 79, 80. That lasted up until around 84, something like that. And prior to On TV, I had Spectrum. That was our pay TV service. And we had that for a couple of years, and then we moved to On TV. What'd you find?
My Rainbow Brights.
Oh, yeah.
I had the little purple girl. I forget what her name
was.
Yeah. I loved her. I took her everywhere with me.
Had a toy guitar in the mid-80s. Fascinated with the whammy bar. Yeah. Kids always loved the whammy bar. So we're just going to we'll be sitting here for like 5 hours looking through these catalogs. So, wait. I think somebody had asked. Oh, I want to see that. Hang on. You found something cool. Where did that go? I thought I saw Transformers.
Yeah, I saw them somewhere.
I want to see these Transformers, man. Did we miss them? There's the Joes. There's the Wuzzles. This catalog, this 85.
This is a good one. There's a lot of
Seriously.
good shit in here.
Any-
Look at all these.
Oh man.
Star
Oh,
Wars and-
dude. Oh wow. Even by oh man. I didn't even know this was in here. I don't know if I ever even looked at this catalog before. Because this 85 one, I bought off of eBay a few years ago. They actually have the 85 stuff. So they've got like, this is like the end of the Star Wars line, Power of the Force stuff. So they've got the Imperial shuttle. They've got the skiff there. They've got some of the droids figures from the Ewoks and droids cartoons. Oh man, that's super cool. What I wanted to ask you is, so what would you say, and I want to know from you folks out there, what would you say are your most memorable? Because I mean, there's tons. For me, there's tons. But what are your most memorable Christmas gifts you ever got from when you were a kid?
I would have to have to say that shooting game that I can't remember what it's called, shooting the marbles back and forth, because I just remember playing with that a lot.
I'm gonna look that up later. I'm gonna find it because now that you said marbles, I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
And I have a picture of me and my brother playing it.
Okay.
In my new house shoes from Christmas too.
Yeah.
I mean, I always loved my clothes and everything.
Joe says his NES. That was one of his main ones.
Oh yeah, NES.
Javier says Teddy Ruxpin. Dude, Teddy Ruxpin was awesome.
A 10-speed. Yeah, the 10-speed bike. That was a big thing for me.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah, I really got real excited. And then the Walkman and my first CD player. That was
right.
Huge.
Well, obviously, I mean, like the aforementioned that red SG copy guitar that Grandma got me. I mean, come on. How can I not say that? I mean, that's
a life changer right there.
That literally changed my life because, you know, that sort of set me on my course for where I am now. Oh, Kim Gordon says most memorable was Cabbage Patch Kid and NES.
Oh yeah, Cabbage Patch.
Oh, a 5 CD player, dude. Man, I didn't even get a 5 CD player until I was like probably like 20 years old or something like that. I wanted one so bad. I finally got one. I loved. I just drove that thing into the ground. I used that CD player was constantly playing. Just says Fisher Price gas pump. Well, she has that now. We found that at a toy show once. What else? Rainbow Bright Strawberry Shortcake. Strawberry Shortcake. Yeah, now that I remember because that did come out when I was still young enough to be into toys and everything. And I didn't buy Strawberry Shortcakes, but I had cousins and other neighborhood friends, girls that I knew that had Strawberry Shortcake. So I always got stuck with stupid purple pie guy. What'd you find? Oh, those are Transformers. There we go. Yeah.
If I kept looking, I'd find them eventually.
Yep. Nice. See, I mean, look at that. How could you resist this as a kid? Look at these. I just love the artwork they did for these. The way they is that the Decepticons? Yeah. What was the name of that set? Devastator set. I have the repro of the Devastator set that Walmart put out a few years ago. Obviously not as cool as the original, but it's pretty close, man. Anybody that's into Transformers, if you know, old Transformers is really expensive, but if you haven't seen, I talked about it way back. You remember
started getting them
on Geeking Toyetic, on the Geeking Toyetic episodes. If you haven't seen them, Walmart for the last like 3 years have been doing really, really cool reproductions of the vintage G1 Transformers. They did a whole bunch. Soundwave and of course Optimus they did a repro of, and they've done a whole bunch of them, and they're pretty affordable. So if you just want them, you know, and they put them in the old style boxes and everything. So if you're looking for a cheaper alternative than spending like hundreds or thousands of dollars on the vintage G1 Transformers, look up those Walmart ones, man. They're totally worth it.
They mentioned Micronauts.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. Oh God, do I love it? Yeah, no, I can't. Micronauts are one of my favorite things in the whole universe. And behind these backdrops, I have a whole bunch. I've got Biotron, and I've got Microtron, and Acroyear, and Time Traveler, and I've got a bunch of Micronauts, but still not. I've even got CGC graded Micronauts #1, I think, and of the comic book, because I love the comic book and stuff as well. So yeah, don't even get me started on that. Stoked to get Genesis. Yeah, Sega Genesis. Man, I didn't get my Sega Genesis. I was late to the game with Sega Genesis. I didn't get that until I guess that would have been around 91, 92, and I know it had already been out for a little while, but I love my Sega Genesis. I still have it.
I had never really got into Sega.
Really?
Yeah. I was kind of like, I don't care. I enjoyed some Sonic,
Okay.
but that's all about I really did on it. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, we have all the Sonic games. Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic Spinball, Sonic and Knuckles.
Oh, I think I had this dress. This little frou-frou dress.
Yeah, well, those catalogs were like where inevitably you could order all your holiday clothes and stuff. They always had all the fancy little holiday clothes for Christmas and Easter. You could find all that in there.
So what was one of your favorite memories of Christmas, being with family and not just getting toys?
Gosh. Well, I mean, traditionally, so what we did the same thing every year. We always spent Christmas Eve at my maternal grandparents' house. And my grandfather was an amazing cook, and he would always cook a leg of lamb and potatoes and all sorts of hearty food, and we would stay over there. We would usually end up watching It's a Wonderful Life and opening presents, and then my tired ass would go home. Luckily, they didn't live far, so I usually was still awake by the time I trotted in the house. But my parents never really had a problem with, like, you better go to bed, because Santa's coming. I would always crash out. Very opposite from the way I am now. I have a terrible time falling asleep. And then the next morning we would get up and we would open the presents here from Santa and from my parents. And then after that, by, I don't know, usually by 11 a.m. or something like that, we would go over to my paternal grandparents' house. And that was a big family thing, because my mom was an only child like me, but my dad had 6 other brothers and sisters and kids and all this other stuff. And so, yeah, on the Roberts side, that was always a big deal and everything. And that was fun. And I mean, I guess that's my favorite thing is I don't, a lot of family are gone now, unfortunately, and I don't get to see a lot of the rest of them. So I do miss that. I miss the familyness of it. That's the main thing I miss about it. So
yeah,
Christmas Story
tradition.
Yeah, that came later, like in the later years when I would go over by my grandmother's house, my nanny's house and stuff. We would always end up putting on Christmas Story because like my uncles liked it and everything. Luke likes it, and we would always watch it. So that became a tradition, definitely. What about you? Oh no. Start with the Die Hard again.
Let's go with the Die Hard. I agree, Joe.
You can make whatever you want a Christmas movie if you want to. I have no problem with people saying that, like, I get why that, like I said, I know a lot of people that think that, like I was talking about earlier when we were trying to get this stupid thing going, is that people think Gremlins is a Christmas movie, and it kind of is. I mean, in the same
during Christmas.
Exactly.
It's centered around it.
It's very Christmas, related and everything. So it makes sense. What did she find?
The watch. I don't know if you can see it. The watch with the necklace, the pink right here. I love that thing.
What is that? Watch. Oh, okay. It's like a little pink and gold watch and necklace set type thing.
Yep. I remember that. Something like it anyway.
I could see. I remember. Does anybody remember? Wow. Does anybody remember these watches they had that were like little transformers? When they were all folded up.
Oh yeah.
They were look like a little red plastic digital watch, but then you could like unfold him and he had arms and legs and all that stuff. I totally remember that. That was pretty cool for, silly kid like me. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, my favorite tradition, because we always either went to my grandma's house or to my aunt's house.
Right.
And it was just always fun getting to hang out with the family. And we always sat down and played games together.
Okay.
Trivial Pursuit. Rummy Cube is always real huge in my family.
Wow, Rummy Cube.
Rummy Cube. We love Rummy Cube. So And then my grandma always had the grandma cookies, the famous grandma cookies, and the little bin next to the table. It was a big bin full of grandma cookies.
Oh
and I
boy.
just always had my hand in there grabbing those things out of there. So
Mom says the card game Mealborn. Yeah, I never. Is that how you pronounce it? Mealborn, something like that. I remember that Nerf football with the whistle in it. Yeah, that was awesome. That was it's kids. We thought that was just so cool that football would make that noise when you'd throw it. Does anybody remember the store Ames? Now, I'm familiar with Ames because of toy collecting. That was a big store for toys and stuff back in the 70s and 80s and even the early 90s. But I don't think we had any Ames here in the Midwest. I'm pretty sure, but that was definitely an East Coast thing. And especially for guys that talk about like when they were, buying Mego toys and, superhero toys and even Star Wars and stuff back in the 70s, 80s. Ames is always brought up. I've seen a lot of ads for it. I've heard it was awesome. So unfortunately, they had tons of weird, obscure anime and go, oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
yeah, Kim said back in her day, her mom gave her brother and her the Sears catalog and said, make a list. And that's exactly what my mom said she did too. It's like, here, circle some things, put your initial next to it.
Oh,
that's how they bought it. And Mom, no, it was not Hungry Hippo. It was like shooting it with guns or something.
Right.
It was, I swear it was marbles.
No, and it is. I know what you're talking about. I can picture it in my mind's eye. I know it was a game that was in like the mid 80s or so that came out where you'd shoot these marbles with these things and it was like about that big, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Rectangular
it
kind
looked
of
huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah, well, you were a little kid. It probably seemed bigger than it was.
Huge. Now I want some tamales, Javier. That sounds so good right now.
The former Ames in Maryville. Okay. Yeah. All right. I do remember that store in Maryville. Okay. Yeah. See, I mean, geez, man. Here's another fond Christmas memory. So again, speaking of Christmas memories, and not to always bring it back to these toys and these catalogs, but
that's your life.
It is kind of my life. But as I said, my grandmother couldn't go out shopping, so it was all done, more or less through the catalog and everything. And for those that are into toys, collecting toys and stuff, know that Sears often had exclusive toys. Like they had stuff you could only get from Sears. Mm-hmm. Pennies in them, and Montgomery Ward's did that too, but Sears was especially notorious for it. And one of the most notorious toys that ever came out was, of course, it was the Cantina play set with Blue Snaggletooth. This Blue Snaggletooth figure never came out in the regular stores, never came out on a card, nothing. Mm. It only came out from Sears in this play set, and it was only offered for, I think they offered it for 2 Christmases. I think it was in the 78 and the 79 catalog. Mm-hmm. I got that this year, and this year that in this book in 79. And I just thought it was the coolest. Yes, it was just a piece of thin cardboard that you would fold together that had little pegs.
They were so cool, though.
I loved using my imagination.
Crossfire. It was Crossfire.
That's
what it was.
That's it. Yep. Crossfire.
Thank you.
That's cool. See, that's the benefit of doing this, man, is that you find I have it. Oh, wow. Dude. Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Like I remember getting that, and I think that was the first exclusive I ever got for Christmas that I remember. And every year after that, they came out with like exclusives. Like then in 1980, 81, something like that, they came out with a Cloud City play set. They came with 4 figures. They came out with a Hoth play set that came with 4 figures, etc. They came out with a G.I. Joe Cobra headquarters play set in 82. They came with 3 figures, blah, blah, blah. And it was always a thing. Like it was like, grandma's getting me that. I know, you know what I mean? Like, and it was a big deal to me. I was always super excited. I know people get excited about them now because they're like, oh, it's rare and it's worth money. And I don't care about any of that kind of stuff. I just have super fond memories because I loved the play sets, and I would get so excited about the fact that I knew that grandma would come through and get that for me. It was like all the stuff that was in the catalog for the most part, it was grandma. And then I'm sure there was spillover that mom had to take care of too, because grandma was like, I can't buy this kid all this shit that he wants.
This coat popped in my head. These big puffy coats with those big buttons on it.
Gosh, yep. Here, let's see.
And I have there you go. Yeah, the camera's up there. A memory of my grandma taking me shopping for a coat. And I was so excited. I wanted to wear it right then and there. And she's like, "No, it's for Christmas. You can't have it." And I was so mad. I wouldn't talk to her the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I didn't talk much anyway, so she probably didn't notice. But I was not a happy camper, just so she knows.
Carrie, no, you got it backwards. The regular Snaggletooth was red, but he was much shorter. It was the regular Snaggletooth is only like this big, was about the same size as like a Jawa figure, and the blue Snaggletooth was the full 3 3/4 inch. I actually have a blue Snaggletooth behind the curtain, but I can't get it right now, so you'll have to watch a Toyetic episode, and then I'll show it off more. Yeah. I'm overdue. Hey, do any of you guys that that are talking with me about toys and stuff? I really want to do a live stream, but I want to do a Toyetic one for Geeking Toyetic where I open toys, talk more about toys, and maybe go over some of this stuff. Would any of you watch that if I did it, or you're like, no, Larry, we get enough of you talking about toys already?
I got something for Joe here.
Oh, look at those! Oh
Isn't that
shit,
cool?
that's cool. Check this out. Now, these aren't WWF figures, but they're really cool clothes. Oh, I bet these are worth some dough, too.
Can you see them? Those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Totally. Hulk Hogan was such a huge deal back then.
Oh, man. He still is. I mean, he's an icon,
Those are pretty cool.
Carrie, we watch it? Awesome. All right. Well, then you better be there. I'll let you all know when I decide to do it. Hopefully soon after the new year.
Oh, speaking of bed sheets, one of my big things that I always wanted was those. Remember back then it had the pillow shams, the bed sheets, the sheets, the comforter. It had the duvet. It had the curtains.
Oh,
it was
boy.
all matched.
Oh, okay.
I was so obsessed with all those things, especially the one that was all the multicolor hearts.
Okay.
I so wanted that one so bad. I never got it, but matched. I wanted it.
Yeah, I used to get really excited about the bed sets and stuff. I had an ET set. I think I might still have at least a couple of the pillow cases from that ET set. I remember I had ET. I think I had Star Trek at one point. This was a Star Trek household I grew up in. My parents were way into Star Trek, and so I was just born into Star Trek stuff. So yeah, you too. You were in a Star Trek home too, because I know.
Yep.
But
my dad turned me on to it.
Yep, and you and your bro. Yeah, so that was I had a lot of Star Trek stuff, clothes. I had like Star Trek pajamas. I always had the pajamas and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what? I think I lied. I think I had strawberry shortcake.
Okay.
Matchy everything.
You might have.
I might still have it somewhere.
Oh, that would be really cool. Dude,
it's not in good shape.
It doesn't matter. It'd just still be cool to
so
see them. And that's what I said. I mean, yeah, I'm a collector, so there's some things obviously I care about condition to a point, but a lot of the stuff, I mean, honest to God, I don't have most of my old toys. Unfortunately, they got thrown out back in the 80s. That's a whole story. What?
Our batteries running low.
Oh, yeah, we'll take care of that. But I would rather have my old vintage toys that I personally owned, even if they were all beat up and in bad shape. I'd rather have those.
It has the memory attached.
Yes, than have the new stuff, in new boxes. Hang on, I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna take care of this.
I'll keep talking.
Talk to Megan.
So no, I did not have a canopy bed. I always wanted a canopy bed, but I never got one. Thank you, Mom, very much. I was obsessed with those things, and I completely agree. TNG for life. I love TNG. I think that's the one I got started on with my dad, and then he introduced me to the original later. Oh, you got a Care Bear sleep. Oh yeah, I remember the sleeping bags. I think I had a Barbie one or something. Another good memory is one year they had a box fan, and they took it out, but I was obsessed with the box, and I insisted in dragging it around with me, and I used it as a sleeping bag, and I have a picture of that somewhere. Thanks, Mom. With me laying in front of the TV and my cousin laying next to me, and I'm laying in the fan box. It's pretty funny, cute. Yeah, I think I have all my stuffed animals from when I was a kid in storage as well.
I have a bunch of them.
I have a ton of them because I can't bear to let them go.
I have a bunch of my stuffed animals and stuff from when I was a kid. I found them in a bag not that long ago, up in that one storage space at the back of my everything. And I think I did toss some of them though, but because they were just in such
bad shape
condition. But yeah, there are stuffed animals all over this house. I'm not too much of a man to admit that. I love stuffed animals. I can't have a ton of real animals, so I have to settle for stuffed ones. I got one animal, one real animal that's up there probably having a fit right now because we're ignoring her.
Yeah, she was not happy. But yeah, I didn't have the canopy bed to make a fort out of it. That would have been pretty cool. But I had a day bed, so I could pull out the trundle bed underneath it, and then I could get under there and have a little fort under there.
Yeah, now I was an only child, but I had bunk beds. I insisted on having bunk beds because I figured, for when I had friends or cousins or whoever staying over. But I would always turn that bed into like a fort. We would like tie sheets to the posts and turn a big old box fan on, and I'd make a flag. We would turn it into a pirate ship and climbing up and down the ladder, and you could not touch the ground because that was water.
Yes. Yeah, we did something like that because me and my brother, when we were young, had bunk beds.
Okay.
And it was like solid wood. And yeah, we kind of did the same thing, made a fort, but you couldn't touch the ground at any point.
Oh, no. I don't know if I want to hear the tragedy about your Aunt Ellen's comic collection. I'm sure that's going to make me just
very mad.
Cringe. Yeah. I've got my own stories about, like I said, with toys and comics. Oh, my gosh. So much stuff gone, but it's part of what makes us nostalgic, I guess, But so what did I miss? Sister had a pink canopy, turned it for. Okay, yeah. Kim still got her Care Bear sleeping bag.
Yeah, that's why I was telling him about that. I had a box that a fan, like a box fan, came in, and I drug that around and used it as my sleeping bag at my grandma's house.
Oh, gotcha.
So I'll have to find that picture for everybody.
Oh, good. I'm glad some of you would like to see the toy stream. Yeah. TNG for life. Oh, I know you agree with that.
Yes, I do.
Spider-Man bed sheets, Mom says. Okay. I'm trying to remember. Gosh, so hard to remember some of this stuff, even for as much as I can remember things. Sometimes I remember things, but then I'm trying to remember. It's like, okay, well, was
do
it?
I remember them? Or?
Well, or was it like, sometimes I can remember things, but then I come to realize that it's like, oh no, it wasn't me that had it. It was my cousin Russell that had them, or it was, David that had them and stuff like that,
Going to grandma's. Yeah, I think it's something similar to that. That they may put our names on it.
Okay. Going to grandma's. My thing. Oh, I'll have to show this off sometime. I have, you've seen it. I have a doll box thing. It's like a doll case.
Carrying case, yeah.
A carrying case. And it was meant to put like things like Barbies and stuff like that in there, which I did have some Barbies and Kens when I was real little. But I would mainly use it to carry like my Mego superheroes around and my G.I. Joes and stuff. And it was like pink and white and something like that. It had bears on it. But that was specifically my case for taking my toys over to grandma's house.
It was a backpack that I've been thinking about.
Oh, it was a backpack. Oh, nice. Jedi sheets. Yeah, those are fucking awesome. Had glow in the dark dinosaur bed sheets. Oh, wow. That had to be weird. Glow in the dark. Superman PJ set.
Mom is saying you tore something's head off or leg off?
As a little kid, I had a wind-up teddy bear that played Teddy Bear Picnic that I still had when Larry was born. I handed it down to him, and he ended up ripping off one of its legs. Broke my heart. That had to have been when I was literally like little, because I don't have any recollection of that. Yeah.
Yeah, Light Bright. I never had a Light Bright.
Light Bright. I never had Light Bright. My cousin Russell had Light Bright, and thankfully he kept it over at my aunt's house, which was his grandmother's house. So I used to play with his Light Bright a lot of times, even if he wasn't there. It was like one of the few toys that was at my aunt's house that I got to play with. I loved Light Bright, man. Those were fun. I was always trying to make it say Kiss. I was always trying to make the Kiss logo, the light up Kiss logo, because even in 50 years, nothing's changed, folks. I have a one-track mind.
It's all about the kiss.
Mom says, I think you were a toddler. Well, I mean, yeah, you probably shouldn't have handed a delicate heirloom to a toddler in a crib, because I obviously tore it apart. I'm sorry about that.
Look at this clock. It's a clock, but you put potatoes in it so it runs off the potatoes.
A potato clock?
Yeah, it's a potato clock.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, I kind of remember hearing about that. Look at that.
You could put grow lemons in it and all sorts
Yeah,
of
you
stuff.
put those wires in there because it conducts electricity and all that. Oh, and then that Tomy robot thing. What was his name? Talkabot? Yeah, I remember that stuff. Oh, those are my walkie-talkies down there by my pinky there.
Yeah.
Those were the walkie-talkies I had. Those were cool, man. Those were good. They actually worked really well. Me and my buddies would ride around bikes, and we could be like on the other side of the block, and we'd be able to hear each other.
Yeah, potato batteries. I remember doing those too.
Man.
It's like a radio for toilet paper. Is that what that is?
What is it?
It's like a stereo for something for toilet paper.
Oh my gosh, I kind of remember. I never had that. Hang on, look at this, folks. It's a toilet paper holder, but it's like an AM/FM radio.
That's pretty funny.
It's not a bad idea, actually. Well, now we have phones to keep us entertained while we're doing the
tearing
business.
its head off and throwing it around the room at night because it glowed in the dark. It sounds like something I would have done too.
A glow-in-the-dark pirate. Wow. That's almost as bad as my older cousins that realized when I was really little, when I was like 3 years old or something like that, that I was terrified about Ken dolls' heads being popped off. I don't even remember how that came about, why they did it, but I don't know. I guess ever since I was little, I just had a problem with decapitation. And I used to freak out. So my cousins would have all sorts of fun just walking up and surprising me and popping off a Ken doll head and making me cry. So
I could see that happening. Well, here's that rock tumbler, Jess, you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Finding your own gems out of it. That's so cool.
So, yeah, I mean, it's trying to think if there's any. So, okay, I know we're going on a little while. Well, we'll go a little while longer because we had such a misstart with this whole thing. But it is right now 9:50. Yeah, maybe we'll go to 10.
Okay.
But
let's go to 10.
Real quick, I know we talked about memories and stuff. What about foods? Like what do you associate? What is your favorite holiday, Christmas time holiday foods? I mean, I know obviously things like Thanksgiving is obvious, because with turkey and all that, most people do something along those lines. But did you have anything, even if it was like a snack, like it didn't even have to be dinner, but there was something that you always look forward to having specifically?
The only time we ever had these things was like Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was always with the family and then eventually caught on. But it was our cheesy green beans.
Oh,
that
okay.
we have to
The
make for
cheesy
every
green
holiday.
beans. Okay.
And
you can't think of it?
Oh gosh, what's it called? I love it and everybody else in my family hates it. The scalloped potatoes.
Oh,
scalloped potatoes are
good.
So, those are my favorites.
Homemade chocolate chip cookies. Oh man. I mean,
yeah, we made a whole bunch of cookies.
Dude. Yeah, so
I got super sick from it. It was awesome.
Yeah, you overdid it, I think, with the sugar.
I shouldn't say I got sick from the cookies because that sounds like I poisoned myself. Like food poisoning. I have hypoglycemia and my sugar dropped on me, and that's how I got sick.
Yeah.
I tasted so much of the cookies. So
oh, man. Those cookies that you and Jess made were so good. I ate way too many of them, which is why I'm so fatter than I need to be. But Jess said, oh, yeah, Feast of the Seven Fishes. Not that I ever ate any of them yet because she's not a fish lover. And cheesecake. Yeah.
Yeah, love cheesecake.
Oh, well, you better talk to her. You better talk to her because she's claiming she's not making a cheesecake this year. So you're going to get denied cheesecake.
You can't because there's a shortage of cream cheese.
Is there really?
Yes.
How did I not know
They're
about this?
paying you not to buy cream cheese.
Did you folks know about this? That there's a cream cheese shortage? 2021, the cream cheese incident. I didn't know anything about that. Okay, not Christmas, but same time of the year. But my dad used to do a Chanukah brisket. Oh, I bet.
Cinnamon tortillas. That does sound big. Blah, I can't even talk. I'm so excited now because for Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
I made what did I make? I made cheesecake tacos.
Oh yeah.
And it was made out of tortillas that I put cinnamon on. They were really good. Everybody really liked them.
Yeah,
so that sounds amazing to me.
Those cheesecake tacos were.
I'm going to be at Javier's house.
Yeah. Kraft is paying you to not eat it. Wow. That's what a weird time we live in. Good Lord. Holy cow. Okay, well, I guess we're not making a cheesecake then. It's a good thing I actually have 2 things of cream cheese in the fridge. I guess I can start auctioning them off to the highest bidder.
You might need to.
I was going to use them to make stuffed mushrooms in a few days, so you guys are going to want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your Brussels sprouts, please.
Yeah, I was planning on making Brussels sprouts. Yeah, that does sound excellent.
Nice hot chocolate and cinnamon toast.
I was just
gonna. That was good. That was.
I was just gonna say.
I got to do that.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to. Well, you went at least once, right?
Once,
Did you go just one time? You got to go over by Nanny's and stuff. Yeah, yeah. Cinnamon toast is a tradition, or was a tradition with my family. Always making the cinnamon toast for Christmas Eve, snacking on that, and Nanny's hot chocolate. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Ooh, homemade Swedish meatballs. Okay, I'm getting hungry.
Oh, I know. Already requested. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. See, this is how you're gonna end the live stream because
I'm gonna go up and eat more.
Yeah.
And pass out.
We're gonna definitely eat. If you pass out on the couch, Sadie's gonna be real happy. My cat just loves to fall asleep on Megan. So
he's my snuggler.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as for me, other than the cinnamon toast, yeah, I mean the thing is that obviously my grandfather was Serbian, so he was a good cook, and he would make really, really good lamb. I don't eat lamb real often, but to me that's like, yeah, I could go all year not eating lamb. Not that I don't like it, but that's just such a Christmas thing. I keep heading toward. I'm one of these days I'm gonna go vegetarian because I just, not even some political thing or anything like that. I have a hard time anymore with my health issues, like digesting meat. I love meat, but yeah, I don't know. So, but even my point I'm getting at is, even if I did that, I'd probably still have to make my exception come the holiday.
Yeah, there's no way you wouldn't.
I'd be like, I'll deal with the digestive problems for Christmas. It's just the way it goes, Mom made spinach salad. Oh yeah, oh man, yeah. See, there's. Oh, you guys are making me hungry.
Seriously, Javier, what time's dinner?
Yeah,
we're on our way.
But is there any other, like, before we go, is there any other kind of like specific holiday traditions that you can think of that you guys did? I mean, whether it was even I mean, I know you guys were real outdoorsy, even though I'm sure it was colder. Even in Oklahoma, it was colder at that time of year and everything. Did you have any specific like games you would do? Because I'm sure you had like a lot of family together. You had a lot of cousins and stuff, right?
Yeah, I got quite a bit of cousins, but no, it was mostly inside, and especially that time of year.
Yeah,
we just sat around the table and played games. That was our
so
tradition.
it was all indoor games.
All indoor. Or me and my other cousin went in the bathroom and played dress up. I was their doll, their little Barbie. So, and I loved it. Going to the movies.
I never did the movie thing.
I went one time at Christmas.
Okay.
I can't remember what we went and saw, but we all went as a family and went and saw it with my ex's family.
Played cards. What?
Cards Against Humanity a few years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Had birthday dinner last night when the family could meet up, and I got a delicious lamb stew. Oh, I bet that sounds good. Yeah. Going to the movies, like Joe said. Played cards on Christmas Eve. Ate spinach salad and crudite or crudite. Every time don't be such a crudite, Meg. Yeah, Cards Against Humanity. That's our tradition now for Thanksgiving. We get together and we play Cards Against Humanity on Thanksgiving. It's a lot of fun.
I may have a new one for us for Christmas.
Really?
Saying.
Oh, really?
You guys will have to wait and see.
Okay.
Hint, hint.
Oh, what you got in store for us? I grew up Jewish, so Chinese food and the movies on Christmas Day. Right, but I mean, you celebrated Hanukkah, I would assume, right, Carrie? I mean, that's I said. I don't know if people didn't hear us at the start of this. Is I don't want people to think. Obviously, for us, it was Christmas, but we want this. That's why this is a holiday discussion, and I'm very interested in knowing more about
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah and just different any different holiday traditions, because it's really interesting to me how they compare and contrast and stuff like that. So
I do have one more Christmas tradition. I cannot believe I wasn't going to mention it.
What?
Because my family is huge on this. We still do it, even though we're miles and miles and miles apart. We're all different states.
Okay.
But on Christmas Eve, the second it turns midnight, we would run around the house yelling Christmas Eve gift at each other. And if you got somebody else before they got you, you got to open a present early. We actually never did it. It was just the fun of actually catching them off guard, because every time it's like, God damn it, because inevitably somebody forgets. But now we do it via Facebook, or like one year I went around and I set a whole bunch of old phones at midnight, and I made them all say Christmas Eve gift.
Yeah.
And I like planted them under my parents' bed and everything. So they woke up. They were not happy with me, but it was really fun. So, but yeah, we still do that. We text each other or call or something.
Yeah.
So it's just fun. Silly tradition.
It sounds like fun. I've heard, and I love talking to different friends I grew up with. My childhood friend, David Lesko, and his family, they had a tradition that I guess he said, I get the impression it was more of like a Polish thing, but it had something to do with an electric reindeer.
Mm-hmm.
There was some kind of like, I'd have to ask him. I wish he was watching this so he could chime in. He's probably working right now, but, yeah, he always had a really interesting tradition with that. My family had Impy Gnomi. Not supposed to talk about Impy Gnomi. Impy Gnomi he's a secret. Impy Gnomi don't like being talked. The first rule of Impy Gnomi is you do not discuss Impy Gnomi. We had all sorts of silly things like that. What are we saying? Open presents. Javier says open presents midnight when I was a kid, but grandma passed and we switched to opening the next day. Yeah, that's my grandparents. Unfortunately, not to bring it down, but grandparents passing really changes the holidays. It really does. That really does change it a lot. Yeah, Chinese food. So Carrie Gordon says, yes, we celebrated Hanukkah. Got one good present, and the rest of the days were socks. Which is funny because now as an adult, I ask for socks. I'm like, I need new socks, man. But what are you laughing at?
Mom, she said, Dad and I spent hours chasing those damn phones down. I had them all over the house. I was like at midnight at 12:01, 12:02, and I was like, they were everywhere.
That's funny. Currently celebrate both holidays. On one present on the first night of Hanukkah and the rest on Christmas morning. That's fun. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm only half Jewish, so I never got to participate in the Chinese food tradition since I was always with my mom on Christmas Day. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of folks who celebrate multiple different, whether it's through marriage or whatever. I think that's fun. I mean, to me, I don't think it really matters. That I know some people argue with me, but I think it's just a matter that you're like celebrating. To me, the holidays, in as much as they can be, whether they're religious or not, to me, it's always more about just like taking a pause, celebrating, just kind of like life and peace and togetherness and stuff. That's the fun. That's why, we do things like Friendsgiving and stuff like that, because even though they're not technically related, it's still like family.
Still family.
And that's, and we get all different kinds of people that come to Friendsgiving with all different backgrounds and stuff. I love that aspect of it. And so that's why I'm happy to see more people. Father and other siblings still celebrate the Three Kings. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's being an adult is being excited for clothes on Christmas. Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're like me and I get excited for dishes.
Yeah, you like your dishes. You specifically your Pyrex and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Megan is a Pyrex monster.
I love it. I get that from my mom. She's got a bowl thing.
Oh, and I
give her bowls. She'll be happy.
No, I've got friends that are really into collecting china, you know, but not even like super, like not like the super expensive china kind of stuff, but like just certain brands, like certain, I guess it is still kind of fancy, but you know, not like, you know, upper crust fancy, but just like, you
Not
know,
where you have to hold your pinky out.
yeah, just certain kinds of, I don't know, people that collect that sort of dinnerware stuff that they'll know more what I'm talking about. But eighth day of Chanukah with my dad was the gift day, and Christmas with my mom. Yeah, that's fine. It's easier for us to use, or it's easier for us since we only
Have to go to her
have parents' house on Christmas. Yeah. She said your mom's got a bowl problem.
She really does.
That's funny. Well, you know, guys, this has been a lot of fun.
It
I
has
want
been.
to keep going, but we're almost at an hour and a half, and then we kind of promised ourselves that was as long as we were going to go. And I know a bunch of people got to go to work and school and stuff in the morning and everything. So this has been awesome.
Thank you for your participation.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
I love getting to, you know, I cherish things like these catalogs. I cherish these memories and talking about it. Well, you know, we'll be talking more about this kind of stuff. We're going to do more of these live streams once we can work out all the bugs and gremlins and make it a little bit of smoother deal.
Yeah. Thank you for sticking with us for this one.
Yeah,
third time was the charm.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was third time, and if we hit a strike, then we're out. I think I figured out what part of the problem was. I was trying to use first of all, aside from blowing the power earlier, I was trying to use the other computer to do this, and that other computer was not liking
you
this.
did change computers. When did you do that?
I did it for the third time. Yeah, when that's how I made it work, was because once I moved over to this computer, it made it so much better. Yeah, I think the other one just it's a little guy. The other one, he just couldn't keep up. The little computer that couldn't, so I had to switch to my main one that I do all our editing and everything on, because this is big strong bull of a computer. But anyway, thank you everybody to watching this, and man, I hope everybody has a safe holiday season, whether you celebrate the holidays or not, or, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, this is supposed to be a time of year, in theory, that everybody gets to chill out and just have a little modicum of peace, even if you can't get your hands on cream cheese. As crazy as that is.
And happy birthday, Alex, again. Happy 30th.
Happy 30th. Welcome to your dirty 30s, Alex. Lord only knows what you've got in store. I picture you hitting the highway in some like 65,000 convertible souped up car, swinging a broadsword over your head and cranking some epic metal or something while driving down the highway. You got to do it right, man.
Sounds good to me.
That's how you go into your 30s, man. So thanks, Joe. Thanks, Javier, Kim, and Carrie, and all of you guys, man, family and friends. Yeah, thank you. And if any of you jumped in late and you missed some of the stuff as we did with the other one, this will be available for reviewing, and we'll share it in the Geeking Squad group and all that stuff. And like, we can continue the conversation about all this stuff in the Geeking Squad group on Facebook. I'm sure all you guys know about it, but yeah, if you come up with any of the stuff we were talking about and you're like, oh, I remember this, post it in the squad. Let's keep it going. Even if we're not having this direct back and forth this way, let's keep talking. Let's have some fun this week. I think we all could use it. So, all right, everybody.
Bye.
Peace out. And let's see if I can actually end this without it like blowing up or something on me. Here we go. Bye.